Okay. Um, Hello, this is Athena Jezik. I'm going to be showing the foot massage today, and I'm going to be working on the model Jessica. So I will be explaining some things to do with the different muscles of the feet. We'll be working on the tops of the feet primarily and the toes, a little bit around the ankle, and we're going to go up the side of the lower leg. And just so you can kind of see, because they do all somewhat connect together, like the whole body, but this is a pretty integral part to have the feet and the knees, nice alignment there. So I'll just show you how to keep the muscles nice and soft so that it's easier for that alignment to happen at a muscular level. So I'll start by putting some oil on. I'd like to also thank the Patreons, Angie, Betsy Perkins, and Jason S. Thank you so much for being a part of the Patreon family. Okay, I'm going to start here down at the toes and just begin to work the muscles that come. They actually come from the ankle area. It's actually the whole foot. And you can feel it. It's more of a, it's a lot more of a tendinous type of thing, but there's also muscle as well. So it's a very different structure. And I would encourage you to, if you're doing this work, to study the anatomy books, look at the pictures, get yourself very familiar with every layer of the musculature. And you just come up and work those toes and work down. These are all kind of considered toes, just different parts of it. There's the tarsals and the metatarsals. So this part is the tarsal, this part is the metatarsal. The tarsals go up, making the heel. So and you want to have a little bit more pressure going toward the heart than you do when you're pulling down. So you can deepen the pressure just slightly as you're going toward the heart, toward the center of the body. This is because the muscles are working with the vascular system and you want to push the blood toward the heart. The veins are a little bit different in structure than the arteries. So they oftentimes will need a little bit extra help to push that blood up. And then you can check a little range of motion just to see how that's doing. It's a good thing to do if you can, is to walk barefoot. Walk barefoot on the earth if you can. There's a phenomena called, I'm putting my fingers between her toes here to see if we can give a little stretch. And then that way you can get between the toes down here. But it's nice to walk barefoot if you can on your grass or, in a park or somewhere, because there's a phenomena called earthing, and that's where your feet will pull up a lot of the earth energy, and there's a lot of healing that can happen in that type of an environment. Currently, I have a cat that has some kind of a allergic reaction, and he's been sleeping. He's actually been sleeping outside in the dirt, and I've noticed that just automatically that whole rash is changing. So I do think that is a very important thing. It's also good because of the way the foot is designed to walk on uneven surfaces if you can. We need to keep our feet nice and flexible and grounded. I'm going around the ankle here. There's these bones that you can work around this bone. Get into the ankle where the ankle bends. You can get right into that bend of the ankle. And what you're feeling for is basically any tension in the muscles. The more relaxed your client will be, the less resistance there'll be. And you actually can tell a little bit better what is tense and what isn't, because when they're very relaxed, the tension in the muscle will continue to hold while they're relaxed. Now, coming up the side of the calf, there's a nice big muscle here, and you want to give a nice thumb iron or finger iron in this case, and you're going to feel possibly little hills and valleys there. Some of that is maybe lactic acid, especially the little bumps, the little bumpy parts. It'll be lactic acid trapped in the tissues. If there's been any kind of little injury, it might be a little bit of scar tissue. We don't want the lactic acid to be trapped in there. We want to get it to move out. Of course, stretching exercises help that as well. But oftentimes not as good as having them actually manipulated to move it out of there. And then similar thing on this side, which you'll see better when I get to the other leg. But you just go up that, right along the bone, and then up into the fleshier area, the gastrocnemius. And then on the leg, you can do circular movements. So basically, whatever massage that I still do is I will work it with clients. If they've had some muscular pain, I always make sure that the alignment is right, and then I'll work the muscle after the alignment is there. So that way I can be sure that I'm not working a muscle on a crooked bone. That's a very important thing to consider. And a lot of the misalignment comes from the very small bones that are overlooked. So there's certain techniques to do that. And then this is a cross fiber friction type of maneuver on the muscle. And I'm going to do that on the other side. It's almost as if we have forgotten how to relax in this strange society. We get so busy with all the outside things that we forget about what's happening inside us. Now here I'm going just around the kneecap, just checking the flexibility of it. Make sure that the muscles are strong and sturdy and yet flexible. And then I'm just taking it back up. From there, and just a big broad sweep all the way up. And then I'll show you the bottoms of the feet in a different video. But also you can do some range of motion here where you're moving the bigger joints around just to make sure that they're all moving well. And if you do find some restrictions there, you'll have to apply the subtle techniques in order to correct that. Okay, I'm going to go to the other leg, the other foot. Apply a little bit of the oil. Okay. Down to the feet. Start with those toes. And just work the toe. Each little toe. Our feet really do a lot for us, and we oftentimes don't appreciate it. And feet, I've seen all kinds of feet, and it's important to keep those toes in alignment. It's important not to wear, you can wear, shoes that are pointed shoes or whatever, but it's not a good idea to wear them all the time so that the feet get into a different position, because that can cause a lot of problems. And if you have children, you want to make sure that their shoes fit. You don't want to have their toes crammed up against the shoe. I know that feet grow kind of fast, so it's a little bit of an expense to keep them in shoes, but it is really important not to have those shoes that children are wearing be too small. They need to be well fit, and then when they get too small, just do something different. Otherwise, their feet will take on a different shape as they try to grow. And I have seen the results of that many times over. The little twitches that's happening is because she's very relaxed and her body's releasing some of the tension that might be held. Now I'm going up the side of the outside of the calf. And now I'll be going up the inside. Now along this bone, that has oftentimes a lot of lactic acid that gets collected along that attachment area. But again, you don't want to push. You want to take it where the muscle is letting you in. Less is more, actually, which is what I'm finding out more and more as I continue to study. Just going to go back down here and then come back up on both sides, checking the knee out a little bit. And then those little circles on either side, you're coming right up against the bone, and then you're doing the circles from the bone outward, outward, both medially and laterally. Check the kneecap. Okay, and then spreading it up with your fingers kind of spread so you're coming in different areas of it. Different areas of the muscle, I should say. And then from the foot all the way up. And then you can gently ride it back down. Give a little bit of a pull if you want to. Check the feet one more time for flexibility, the toes. You can also spread those like I did on the other side. Spread those toes out and give them a little stretch. It feels kind of good to get deep inside of the toe. You can do that individually too, just going in between the toes individually. I can show you that on the other foot. You can just go in between the toes like that. And that feels real good because some of these areas never really get attention. I'm going to do it there and between these other toes. Okay. So there we have the foot, the feet, and the lower leg. And then of course you can add in the little range of motion with the toes, where you're just taking them in circles. It's the bigger joints that you're dealing with here. You're not dealing with the subtle joints. And you can do it with the whole foot, all the toes together. Bending them backwards. I'll do that on both feet. Just bending them backwards. And then if you're going to curl them forward, you want to put your finger underneath the toes and then bend them that way. So you're bending them, kind of stretching the top part of the toe, because there's something underneath it that it has to kind of grab. You know, our toes should be strong enough to be able to grab things. And then same thing over here, put the finger under the toe and then just bend it forward. And it's done gently, you're not forcing anything. If the body's not doing it in a gentle way, then, you know, if it feels like there's restriction, you need to back out. And then we'll just go around these toes again. And then we'll go up the outside of the leg on both sides. We'll make it up. Balance this out a little bit. Circles. And take the circles up. And circles up. And there we have it. There's one thing I wanted to mention, is that the alignment of the foot is very important for a proper heel strike. And there's some small bones that are close into the ankle area that will determine heel strike. And those bones need to be aligned, but they have to be done by a subtle technique. They can't just be forced in or they won't hold. Those bones, when the heel strike is right, will also keep the knee aligned as well as the hips. And then everything can stand up. You can stand up much straighter in your posture as you begin to work with these little tiny alignment pieces in the work. But that's something that is a more advanced technique, and I'm not going to show it with just plain muscle massage here, but I did want to let you know, if you're looking to look further into that, that's something you can begin to explore. So thank you for viewing, and I'll see you again. If you like this video, we have more of it on Patreon. And if you want to know more about the subtle techniques, you can visit my website and find out a little bit more over there. Thank you so much for viewing, and we'll see you again.